Out of high school, Jason Preston had 0 college offers, so he gave up the game to focus on blogging. He wrote about his favorite team, the Pistons, while sitting on the bench as a high school senior. But a few years later, one of those guys that he wrote about, Reggie Jackson, was his NBA teammate. Now, he is set to break through for the Jazz, having led the G League in triple doubles last year. But how did he get here? How does a kid with 0 college offers writing about the NBA make it to the league? We're about to find out, because this is the story of the blogger who actually made it to the NBA. When Jason was a junior in high school, his mom died of cancer, so he channeled that pain into hoops, moving in with a teammate. He was 6 foot tall, but only weighed 140 pounds. Plus, Jason's coach hated the way he played. That style helped him later, but as a senior, he averages 2 points a game. His only start came on senior day, which is a little favor they do for kids who barely play. But his mom was able to pass down a love for the Pistons. So Jason reached out to pistonspowered.com, which is a blog about his favorite team that he loved to read. The editor said, "You are 16 years old. That is way too young for us. Get back to me later if you're serious." So Jason DM'd him back on his birthday and got the job. His first post was, "Which Pistons starter will make the biggest leap next season?" Jason picked Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Awesome, kid knows ball. He fell in love with writing about the league. Dude dropped game recaps analyzing the team. Even though he couldn't play basketball at that time, this was a great way to stay close to the game. So after high school, he enrolled at UCF to major in journalism. Hopefully work for ESPN someday. But that summer, his friend needed one more player for an AAU tournament in Georgia. I mean, they were desperate. Jason was a scrub. But before he jumped in the car for the drive, Jason almost forgot his basketball shoes. And he admits, if that happens, he does not play in this tournament. But first, I'm playing Underdog right now, especially during the Olympics. Makes all of these games so much more fun. And I have been playing a lot of Pick'em, where you pick higher or lower on your favorite team or whatever game you're gonna watch that day. You can win up to 325x your money with Scorchers, but now they've got a chance at 1000x by playing their newest pick'em game type on Underdog, which is called Streaks. The road to greatness. You start your streak off by nailing a pick 2. Then, if you hit 9 more picks in a row, you will turn that green into gold up to 1000x. So let's get that pick 2 started off right with these 2 picks. Still no WNBA, no US men's basketball, so let's go MLB. Framber Valdez, we're gonna go higher on his fantasy points, and then Logan Webb, lower on hits allowed. And best of luck if you were tailing those picks. Also, if you use my code AMHOOPS when you sign up, you get a special pick, Shohei Ohtani, and up to $250 in bonus cash. Again, that is code AMHOOPS. His college coach later said, if he doesn't bring his shoes, the kid is at UCF right now playing intramurals. But he did bring them and balled out. Jason had grown to 6'4" and had refined his skills. Analyzing the Pistons for his blogging job didn't hurt either. MVP of this tournament, and a coach told him, you've got a shot to play Division I ball. One problem, that coach's college was all out of scholarships. So with 0 guarantees and only the confidence boost from that college coach, he unenrolled from UCF, ditched journalism to go to a basketball prep school in Tennessee called Believe Prep Academy. It's like a 5th year of high school, so if Jason didn't make it, he is now a year behind in college. And at first, he does great. He is on the A team at Believe Prep, but then he gets bumped down to the C team. And part of the problem was the same thing from high school, his play style. Jason's nickname was Mello. His hair and face kind of look like LaMelo Ball, but so did his game. Dude is a point guard who makes flashy passes. In high school, this was a problem because his coach was old school and wanted Jason to play within the system. But Jason would make jump passes like Tyrese Halliburton or LaMelo, a creative player. But coaches hate the jump pass. They teach the jump stop, where you land with 2 feet and have multiple options on what to do with the ball. Fundamental guards do this all the time, like Jalen Brunson. But the jump pass is risky because you have a split second to decide what to do with the ball, and if you land, it's a turnover. You have to be truly special to play this way. Like, nobody teaches football like Patrick Mahomes plays football. That would be ridiculous, but he is the exception. So in high school, the coach was like, Get out of here with that stuff. Who do you think you are? And he benched him. And at Believe Prep, it was starting to come together, but still a work in progress. So Jason posted his own highlights on Twitter, which got him 2 college offers. One from Ohio, the other from Longwood. Still a long way from the NBA. So as a freshman at Ohio, Jason was super raw, scored 6 points a game. But the next year, his play style clicked. He gained 20 pounds that summer and is now a solid 6'4", 190 pounds. His school was down to just 8 scholarship players due to injury, and Jason took advantage. In that first game, he dropped 13 assists in a road win. A few days later, he scored 27 points on the road again. Coaches knew he turned a corner, and he led all sophomores in assists at 7.4 per game. I'm talking all sophomores across the nation. As a junior, he maintained that number but lowered his turnovers, led Ohio to a gigantic upset over powerhouse Virginia in March Madness. By this time, his offensive game was making noise in NBA circles. He wasn't on the level of a LaMelo or a Tyrese Halliburton, but Jason's game was worth a shot. So the Clippers landed him on draft night early in the second round. Front office guy Lawrence Frank said, "Jason's story is incredible. His senior year, he averaged about as many points as I did, and I got cut from my high school team." So someone sent Reggie Jackson a link to a PistonsPower.com article called "Reggie Jackson Doesn't Think the Pistons Have a Ceiling," written by his new teammate Jason Preston. Reggie said, "I thought it was a mistake, like common name or something. There's no way it's the same kid." But before they could share the court together, Jason hurt his foot and had surgery. So after a year out, his NBA debut finally came October 23rd, 2022 in garbage time against the Suns. Most of his year was spent in the G League. Even though he signed a multi-year deal with LA, they cut him just before last year. Now, this would be an amazing story if that was the end. Like, kid's mom dies, he gives up on basketball, goes from blogging to getting drafted, but it's not the end. He is now poised to have a breakout season in Utah. So the Memphis Grizzlies signed Jason to their G League team after the Clippers cut him. He had a decent run, but nothing special. He then moves to the Jazz G League and pops off. Led the entire league in triple doubles, got 5 triple doubles in March alone, winning Player of the Month. And these weren't empty stats. Dude was winning games.
Preston for the win, money, ball game. Jason Preston.
And because they signed Jason, the Jazz G League went from a horrible start to winning 11 in a row and making the playoffs. Part of Jason's improvement was his literal vision. Dude wore glasses off the court his entire life, but refused to wear contacts. So he played on a blurry court this whole time, but was still able to make passes. So he finally had LASIK eye surgery, and maybe that's contributed to his success. So after Summer League, Utah trimmed their roster. They cut 2 players, Kenny Lofton and Darius Baisley, but kept Jason Preston. They see something in him to keep the door open to him getting called up and playing on the Jazz again. Last season, he got called up, played 17 minutes against his old team, the Clippers, dropped 6 points, 6 assists, and 4 boards. But the Jazz plan on being really bad next season, especially if they trade Lauri Markkanen. That opens possibilities and chances for all sorts of guys, especially Jason. Now, obviously, this isn't a story about a future MVP or something, but it shows you it is never too late to chase your dreams. I mean, Jason had to really grind to earn his spot, and it paid off. But one of his old teammates is in some controversy. Kawhi Leonard was forced off of the U.S. Olympic team. The Clippers straight up then called USA Basketball liars for how they handled this. So somebody's not telling the truth, and we are finally getting answers.